Hey everyone, it's Corey here with Good Evening Tech, and today we're going to go over a little project that I've been thinking about since I was at the gym a couple weeks ago. So, hope everybody's New Year's resolution is going well with the gym. You know, new year, new you. But something I was thinking about working out with other people is when you're trying to set up weights on a bar. Sometimes, depending on how fast you're trying to go, it can get a little bit annoying to see how much you need to jump from a percentage to a percentage, and what do you have to take off the bar and what do you have to put for it. So this is just a little script that will show you exactly what you need to put onto the bar. So what we have here is an empty folder. We're going to use npm and TypeScript to make the project. So first thing that we need to do is do an npm init. It's going to go through. I'm just going to click through everything. All right, now that we've done that, we're going to install TypeScript as a developer dependency. Let that go through. All right, and then we're going to run npx-tsc init, which creates a init file for us that just has basic instructions for TypeScript. So if you're not too familiar with TypeScript, TypeScript is something that is a superset of JavaScript. It just adds, maybe it's that one. It just adds a bunch of types to JavaScript. That's a good way to put it. It doesn't change how JavaScript works. It's just for documentation for yourself. Let's see what I'm doing wrong here. Oh, is it the flags? Oh, there we go. You know, everything's so different. Some of them have flags, some of them don't. There we go. But what this JSON file is a bunch of instructions that you can give to your TypeScript file so that the compiler knows exactly what you want to do. So we're not going to touch anything in here, but it's just something, if you decide to use TypeScript, look through here and see all the things you can turn on and off. Like right here, this commented line, strict null checks. Basically what that'll do is force you to make sure that a variable is not null. But we're going to leave it off for this project. Now what we are going to do is make ourselves an index.ts. Now our index file, the first thing we're going to do is add a type. We're going to call it plate result equals weight, which is a type of number, and then a count, which is type of number. So for this is something that's unique in TypeScript. As it says, it's a type. It's just a way to structure an object of data. The difference between like this and using a class is this is a little bit more lightweight. It just doesn't have as much ability as a class, such as running methods inside the class, and I mean that's a big one of it. All right, going down here. So the next thing we're going to do and how we're going to get the weight to our program is we're going to use system level arguments. So Node has a Node has a process module in it that lets us interact with the terminal and other things that are inside of Node working with a computer. Remember, Node is primarily on the back end. It is used for front-end development, but what we're using it for right here is just like any kind of console. So first thing we're going to do is make an if statement. Reason we are doing this. Ooh, I remember. Yep, there it is. We need to install dev. Let's see if I spelled that right. So with TypeScript being a type system, you need to ensure that you install the types for certain things. And there we go. So no, the TypeScript compiler was yelling at us because it didn't know what process was. But process is a top level thing in Node, so all we did is install the types package from Node. Now what we're doing right here is just adding some insurance to what we're asking the user for. So what I'm going to do down here is please enter a valid barbell weight and then process.exit. So if you ever used a command line program and you type something in that's completely incorrect, like I did with TypeScript there, and it yelled at us, this is what we're doing on our end. What we're going to do now is get the values and turn them into what we want. What I'm going to do here for this argument, if you're not too familiar with barbells at the gym, the standard barbell is about 45 pounds, but there are different kinds of barbells. There's a lighter weight one at 35. Then there is an Olympic bar, which is 55 pounds. But what this is going to do is, if the user gives this third argument, it's technically the second one, but don't worry about it. If they don't give the argument, then it'll just assume it's a 45-pound bar. If they do give an argument that's something different, it'll use it. Now we go down here. And if you're not too familiar with this, it's called a ternary expression. Basically, if you want to assign something without writing out an if statement, it will check this first condition. So we're checking if this exists. If it does exist, make this integer the value. If it doesn't exist, make it that 45 pounds. All right. First thing we're going to do with both of those numbers is we're going to subtract the goal of the weight we want to do from subtract the bar weight from the bar goal, just to get that weight out of the weight. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to grab our weight values. So these are just basic values that you would have at a gym, and we are going to use for our project. Perfect. Then where we're going to store the results is within this variable we're going to call results. Go down there. Now we're going to create a for loop to go over all this information and push it to the results array, and then we'll just display it, and that'll be it. So we're going to create a for loop. We're going to iterate over the entire weight values array. And then the first thing we're going to do is use math. And we are going to take the weight values at whatever the index currently is, multiply it by 2 because there's weights on both sides of the bar. And that'll let us know how many of those weights will fit inside that amount. So the easiest one is 135, which we know is a 45 on each side and then a 45-pound bar. What this will do is, since the amount is already subtracted for the barbell, it'll be 90 pounds, and the first value we go over is 45. We will divide it by that, and it'll give us a value of 1 for the total amount of weight, and that's what will give us our count. Then we just take our count and then multiply it by 2 to give us the total amount for both sides of the bar. All right, then we're going to push this to our array. And little nice thing about JavaScript, so in our object, count is named count. Down here, we're passing it the value of count. Since they have the same name, we don't have to put the colon brackets there. It just knows. And then we will take the weight away by taking whatever that value was and multiplying it by the count, which will subtract it from the value, and then it'll iterate over again until the bar goal is 0. All right, now that we have that, what we are going to do is we are going to map out our results into the console so we can see it. So we're going to use a special syntax in JavaScript. Instead of hitting the quotes, you're going to hit the backticks. If you're using a QWERTY keyboard, it's the key to the left of the 1. And this will let us have a special syntax to just drop variables straight in to the string instead of having to either add it to the string or use the parenthesis sign with the string. So what we will do is go here. The format is $ with brackets. Wait.count of wait.wait. Add a period there. We'll go down here, hit save, then go over to our package. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a script here. I'm going to call it pre-start. And it is going to do index.ts. And then we're going to have a script called start. It is going to do node.that. So if you're not too familiar with the package.json, this is where we can add scripts and cater our application to certain things we want it to do. But if you add pre and spell it the exact same way before to any script, whenever I run npm run start, it'll run pre-start before it. So you look down here, we'll type in npm run start. It's going to build it. It's not going to work because we didn't give it a value. It should yell at us. Let it run through its super fast pace. There we go. So see, it said, please enter a valid barbell weight. So what we'll do for this is we'll start with the most basic weight, 135. We know the amount is going to be 2 45-pound weights. It'll run through that again. For this way, if you have a project that does take a little bit of time, I'll show you another way that you can separate this so it doesn't run it every single time in case you didn't change something. But as we can see for the results here, we'll need 2 45-pound weights, 0 of everything else as expected. But we're going to rename pre-start to, if it'll let me, thank you, to build. So if we need to rebuild the file, we would run npm run build. But if we just run npm start, it'll run the JavaScript file. Which, as you can see here, not a lot's changed. They took out the spaces that we had and the model that we had, but nothing else has changed outside of it. So we'll go in here. We'll try the next weight up of adding 45s. 225. That should give us 4 45s. Yep. Now let's try a weight just 10 pounds above it of 235. That should give us 4 45s and 2 5s. Perfect. And then we'll do, let's do 315, but we'll add 20 pounds. So that would be 335. Let's see what that does. All right, adds the 6 and then adds 20 pounds. So it seems to be working to me. So if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, and I'm going to keep building on this to keep making different projects with it to just show you everything that JavaScript can make. So I hope you all have a great evening.